Hey guys, welcome back to another Tech Support Spy video. As always, we are wishing positivity your way for all those who are watching this video, and we hope you're having a great day, great week. And again, thank you for watching this video and watching Tech Support Spy. This video is going to be talking about motherboards. We'll show you here a tweet that we did a few days ago talking about motherboards and making sure you don't go to third-party motherboard driver websites to download drivers and the BIOS for your motherboard. We're going to show you in this video how to find your motherboard drivers for your motherboard drivers and BIOS so that you know where you need to go to get the software that you need to maintain your motherboard. And I'll show you some of the things too here that, you know, if you are aspiring IT guy, computer guy, definitely look into subscribing to some type of subscription, some type of magazine subscription. This article that I'll show you in this video is from PCmag. I also subscribe to TechRadar, Maximum PC, Mac World, PC World, Mac Life, all types of different magazine subscriptions. Kind of help me keep me up to date on all the technology, new technology that's coming out. You learn things about Windows 12 when it's coming out. You learn things about Ventura on the Mac OS side. You know, you may even learn when Apple is going to come out with the new Mac OS. And who knows what they're going to call the new Mac OS. They might call it like, you know, Obvious, or they might call it Captain Obvious, you know. So who knows? But a lot of these subscriptions and magazines that a lot of IT guys subscribe to, keep them up to date on what's going on. Keep them up to date on what virus or what scams are out there, and just kind of keep them in the loop. As technology continues to evolve and grow and change, you got to be able to stay in the loop of when technology is changing. So these subscriptions, you know, PCmag, TechRadar, PC World, Mac World, all these different subscriptions keep you up to date on what's going on in the tech world. So we're going to talk about that in this video, or at least motherboards. And I'll show you the article that I came across that talked about how third-party websites for motherboard drivers are not the websites you want to go to for your motherboard. So anyway, that's all I got for you. Let's dive into the video, shall we? All right, guys. So you're probably wanting to know, what motherboard is this? Like, what is this? Like, obviously it's a motherboard. This is a Intel ITX motherboard. It came with a Intel, I believe I had to take off the thermal paste on this, but it's an old Pentium 4, or Pentium 4. You can barely see it here, but it says Pentium on it, Pentium 4. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see. Probably can't. It's still kind of smeared a little bit, but you know, I took that off, and this is a old, I had to Google it. If you look at this here, it says a VI3FL. I'm like, what kind of motherboard is this? So I pull it up. Again, it came out of an old power spec. It's a FIC, F-I-C motherboard. The FIC VI35L motherboard. I don't know why I said F. A little tired, I guess. And it's an Intel board. Again, it had a Intel Pentium 4. See the pins on that old Intel Pentium 4 chip. You know, just to kind of give you guys an idea, you know, with the motherboard, you know, you got to make sure that your motherboard drivers are up to date. You make changes to your system. You put a new graphic card in. You know, if some of you AMD builders, you know, probably had some issues with like some of the 5th gen, the AMD Ryzen 5800. If you were putting it into a motherboard that had like a Ryzen 3800 CPU in it, and it wouldn't post, well, you probably have some issues to where your motherboard wasn't AMD 5th gen ready. You had to update your BIOS in order to have that 5800 CPU, AMD CPU work in that motherboard. So one thing is, if you're building PCs and you're learning and you're trying to learn how to build PCs and you're a gamer, You want to make sure you're going to be able to make sure your motherboard works with your graphic cards. You can have those great crisp graphics, those 144 hertz. Because if you're a gamer and you're playing like Cyberpunk or something like that, and you're not getting those frame rates, you're going to be a little disappointed. And you want to make sure that you keep your motherboard drivers up to date, especially anytime you're making changes to it. You add a new CPU, you add a new graphic card, and sometimes too, when Windows is updating, um, certain things may not communicate well with Windows, with your hardware and your board, and you start having problems in your PC, especially if it's a custom built PC. You got to make sure your drivers are updated. So let's talk about the article that I came across out of Tech Radar, and we'll talk about my tweet, and then we're going to talk about how you need to find the right drivers for your motherboard. So let's go. All right, guys. So here is the tweet that I had put out here on April 7th. Just basically giving a little bit of a troubleshooting tip, out there to you MSI users, there's MSI motherboard users, just basically, hey, never download motherboard drivers from a third-party website. Never. You always want to get your drivers from the manufacturer's website for that motherboard. And there was an issue. There was a ransomware attack on MSI motherboards, and I found out about that through one of my subscriptions is with PCmag. So let's take a look at the PCmag article here. All right. So MSI confirms breach at ransomware gang claims responsibility. Ooh, do I have another? Ooh. Anyway, so let's talk about this. So it talks about here what happened. Let's see here. MSI has confirmed it suffers a data breach after a ransomware gang claimed it stole files from the PC Maker. The company published a Taiwanese stock exchange filing about experiencing a cyber attack, although the company is thin on details. After detecting some information systems being attacked by hackers, MSI's IT department has initiated information security defense mechanisms and recovery procedures, the PC Maker said. The company also reported the incident to authorities. It does give some information on how, a new ransomware group called Money Message claims it breached the PC Maker to steal the company's source code, including the framework for the BIOS used in MSI products. I want to get here where it talks about where, let's see here. Where's it at? It doesn't, this update here is what I want to share with you. And then we'll get into looking at how to find your motherboard drivers off the manufacturer's website. So as an update, a new statement from MSI says users should avoid downloading firmware and BIOS updates from third-party sources and instead only obtain such software from the company's official website. The statement suggests MSI is worried hackers could circulate malicious versions of the company's BIOS software when the ransomware gang Money Message claims to steal. Let me repeat this. The statement suggests MSI is worried hackers could circulate malicious versions of the company's BIOS software when the ransomware gang Money Message claims it stole the PC Maker's source code. So it's basically MSI is telling you, any MSI user of our motherboards, of our products, don't go to third-party websites and download drivers and BIOS software from those sites. Go to our website. Go to our MSI website or our MSI manufacturer's website for your motherboard and download the BIOS and drivers from there. So let's show you how to find the right BIOS and the right driver software for your MSI motherboard and also other motherboards. Let's go. All right, guys. So we are on Best Buy's website. So you can get motherboards from all over, different online retailers, Newegg, Amazon. You can get motherboards and PC components from Best Buy, Micro Center. I think Fry's has gone out. I remember hearing about Fry's. I can't think of any other place locally. You can get motherboard parts, or not parts, but PC components from Walmart. Yeah, Walmart has certain components. Hard drives, definitely remember about Walmart. If you can't find certain PC components and things from some of the major, PC component retailers that's locally around your area, never forget about Walmart. Walmart has PC components as well. So don't forget about Walmart or Wally World. Anyway, let's take a look at this, right? So this Best Buy website, try to filter it what I want to look at here on the left side on Best Buy's website. They have a lot of the different bundles, the motherboard and CPU and RAM. So it has different motherboards here. So let's take a look at this, MSI B550 Tomahawk Max. So if there's situations where you need to update your BIOS or your drivers for your motherboard because you're having issues or whatever it may be, this is going out to you, gamers, you custom PC builders. If you have a custom built PC, if your friend built it, if a retailer built it, or if your neighbor built it, or the guy, 2 blocks up has built this PC for you, and you need to find the drivers and the BIOS for it, this is how you do it. So let's take a look at this MSI B550 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi. The key is when you do your search on Google, and you have to go to Google to find the drivers for that particular motherboard, is make sure you put in the make and the model, everything, right? Like there's differences between Wi-Fi and no Wi-Fi for some of the motherboards, so make sure you put in the make and models. We want to look up a MSI B550 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi. So I'm just going to Google MSI B550, sorry, coming up, Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi, and you want to add drivers at the end. Always add drivers at the end of your search or your query in Google, so it knows you're looking for the drivers for this particular motherboard. I'm gonna go ahead and enter, and it's going to come up with the very first link in my search results from Google is the actual MicroStar International or MSI International Mag B550 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi computer or motherboard. All right, you're gonna have either your manual or your drivers, and you'll see here under the drivers or downloads, this is where you can find your BIOS. Now, I'll do a video on how to update your BIOS, but you can always search Google or YouTube on how to update the BIOS for your particular motherboard. Always use the make and model. And then you can also look at the drivers, right? You can choose what operating system you have, Windows 10, Windows 11, right? And make sure you are looking at what drivers you need. Most of the time, if you need to have an update to your motherboard, first update your chipset drivers. Your chipset driver is important for all motherboards, for all custom built PCs. Your motherboard has to communicate with Windows, and it has to allow for Windows to communicate with it and all your other components. And to do that, you got to make sure your chipset, all the chips and the communication software is communicating with Windows, the motherboard, and your components. Because remember, all your components are installed into different PCIe slots, different connections to your motherboard. So your motherboard has to allow all your components, your GPU, your solid state drive, your Wi-Fi card, whatever you have built into your computer, it has to allow for it to communicate and to work with Windows. And sometimes there's some corruption. Sometimes it doesn't all the way click. So sometimes you have to update your chipset driver to allow for your motherboard to allow your components and the motherboard to sync up and to click with Windows, right? So that's one board, right? So let's go back to Google. We'll do one more board. So we've showed you about MSI. So definitely use the MSI manufacturer's website for your motherboard to download your drivers and your BIOS. Take a look at some Gigabyte boards, right? So we don't Gigabyte. Gigabyte, yeah. Let's see what Best Buy has for Gigabyte. The Aorus Let's take a look at the Z690. I like the Pro. Let's go with the Pro, the Aorus Pro AX, B550 Pro, B550 Pro, Aorus. Which one? I forgot it already. Aorus AX, Pro AX, Pro AX driver. So this is how I put it in. It's basically a Gigabyte, proprietary board. And let's see what comes up. So Gigabyte, as the first link comes up in my search on Google, the B550 Aorus Pro AX. I'm gonna click on this first link. And under support, right, you're gonna have your drivers. You're gonna have your audio drivers. Remember the chipset. Chipset is very important to your motherboard. If things are out of whack, go to your motherboard's website, download that chipset. And of course, you got your BIOS here, right? You got your different BIOSes. I'll do a video to show you, I think I already have one out there, how to find what BIOS version you're on. And I'll make sure I'll have it at the end of this video that shows you how to look at your MS Info 32 to look at what BIOS version you have. But this is where you can find all your drivers. You want to make sure you use your motherboard's manufacturer's website to download any drivers or any BIOS updates that you need. Make sure you use that particular website. Don't go to a third-party website. Don't go to Gigabyte RS drivers.com. Don't go to those websites. Leave it alone. Go to your manufacturer's Gigabyte, MSI, whatever website or whatever motherboard manufacturer to make a model. Go to that website and download your drivers and BIOS from there. I hope this helped you out. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe. To everybody about TekSupportSpy, comment below, interact with us. Help us get this channel to grow and to blow up, and help YouTube get the algorithm to start picking up our channel and our videos. And share it. Share these videos with others. Help us to get more subscribers, help this channel grow. And if you have a tech support type, video you want us to do, a troubleshooting video, comment below and let us know. Interact with us and let us know what other troubleshooting video would you like for us to put out here for you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And again, if you are non-tech, SAVVY, you're not watching or using TekSupportSpy. Thanks for joining me today. And again, thank you for watching TekSupportSpy.